They say, space is the final frontier. But what if it's already been compromised? What if the void is staring back? This isn't a sci-fi movie. This is the story of Ilara Vance, a brilliant but sidelined space systems engineer, and a mystery that could rewrite everything we know about our place in the cosmos. For years, satellites have been vanishing. Not crashing, not burning up on re-entry. Just ... gone. The official story. Solar flares, micrometeorite impacts, technical malfunctions, plausible deniability. The world accepted it, but Ilara didn't. She saw a pattern, a ghost in the machine that everyone else was too busy or too scared to notice. Her career had stalled because she asked too many questions, pushed too hard against the comfortable narratives. So she was relegated to the digital archives, a graveyard of forgotten missions and decommissioned projects. It was meant to be a punishment. Instead, it became her hunting ground. Night after night, fueled by lukewarm coffee and a stubborn refusal to be silenced, Ilara sifted through petabits of data. She was looking for whispers, for echoes in the static. Most of it was just cosmic noise, the background radiation of the universe. But then she found it. An anomaly, a single, encrypted data packet from the comms log of Odyssey 7, a weather satellite that had officially failed 3 years prior. The file was buried under layers of security protocols she wasn't supposed to have access to. But years of being underestimated had taught her how to navigate the shadows of the system. Cracking the encryption took her weeks. When the file finally opened, it wasn't technical diagnostics or telemetry data. It was audio, a faint, rhythmic signal. A pulse. It was structured, intelligent, and utterly alien. It was a beacon, and it wasn't coming from deep space. The signal's origin point was a dead zone, a patch of space where Odyssey 7 had supposedly gone dark. As she cross-referenced the signal with other failed satellites, the horrifying truth began to unfold. Each missing satellite had broadcast the exact same signal, moments before it disappeared. They weren't failing. They were being called. This was no malfunction. This was a systematic, coordinated abduction. But who, or what, had the technology to pluck satellites from orbit without a trace? Her mind raced. A rival nation with a secret anti-satellite weapon, a clandestine corporate entity building a private network off the grid. The theories felt small, terrestrial, inadequate for the scale of what she was seeing. The signal didn't sound human. It was too perfect, too complex. It felt ancient. Ilara knew she couldn't go through official channels. They'd either dismiss her as a conspiracy theorist, or, worse, they'd silence her to prevent a panic. The people who buried this data in the first place were still out there. They were powerful. She was on her own. Her first step was to find the source. The signals, though identical, had slight variations in their transmission delay. Triangulating them was a nightmare. She needed more data, live data. She needed to predict the next disappearance. She built a predictive model based on the timing, orbital paths, and types of satellites taken. The pattern was chillingly specific. They were targeting high-bandwidth communication and deep space imaging satellites. They weren't just taking random pieces of hardware. They were stealing our eyes and ears on the universe. Her algorithm spit out a target stargazer, 4, a new generation orbital telescope scheduled for a final systems check in 72 hours. It was the perfect target. Ilara had to find a way to warn them, to prove she wasn't crazy. She reached out to a former colleague, Ben Carter, a jaded but brilliant network security expert who owed her a favor. She sent him a piece of the encrypted signal, nothing more, with a simple message. "Remember Odyssey's? I found its ghost." Ben was skeptical, but his curiosity got the better of him. The elegance of the signal's structure hooked him. He agreed to help, but only from the shadows. He couldn't risk his career on a hunch. While Benham worked on tracing the signal's potential command and control source, Ilara focused on a desperate plan. She couldn't stop the abduction, but maybe she could attach a message to it. A Trojan horse. She began writing a simple, benign-looking diagnostic program, but hidden within its code was a virus, a digital tracer designed to ping its location back to a secure server Ben had set up. If they took Stargazer 4, they'd be taking her tracer along with it. It was a 1 in a million shot. The night of Stargazer 4's systems check was the longest of Ilara's life. From her cramped apartment, she watched the public telemetry feed. Everything was normal. Green lights across the board. The countdown for the systems check ticked away. Ilara held her breath. Then, exactly as her model predicted, it happened. A flicker in the data stream, a momentary energy spike that no sensor was designed to properly interpret. And then nothing. Nothing. The telemetry for Stargazer Quattro went flat. On screens in mission control rooms around the world, it just ceased to exist. Another unfortunate malfunction? Panic and disappointment washed over Ilara. Did it work? Did the tracer get uploaded in time? For hours, there was only silence from Ben's server. Her hopes began to fade. Maybe the signal was just a fluke. Maybe she really was just chasing shadows. She was about to shut down her system when a notification popped up on her screen. A single ping. It was weak, heavily distorted, but it was there. Ben's voice crackled through their secure comms link. "You're not going to believe this. I've got a location." The coordinates weren't on Earth. They weren't in orbit. The tracer was transmitting from a point just beyond the moon, a point where there was supposed to be nothing but empty space. But the signal wasn't just a simple ping. It was carrying data with it. Fragments of images. Ben managed to stitch them together. The picture that slowly rendered on Ilara's screen was impossible. It was a satellite graveyard. Dozens of TIM, including Odyssey 7 and Stargazer 4, were arranged in a perfect, intricate lattice, a web of stolen technology. And at the center of this web, cloaked from all our telescopes, was a structure. It wasn't built by human hands. It was vast, crystalline, and it was pulsing with a soft, internal light. The missing satellites weren't just stolen. They were being assimilated, repurposed, plugged into this colossal alien machine. The alien beacon they had broadcasted wasn't a call for help. It was their new function. The stolen satellites had been turned into a massive amplifier, taking the faint alien signal and preparing to broadcast it. But where? Ilara and Ben analyzed the trajectory. It wasn't aimed at deep space. The focused beam was pointing directly back at Earth. They didn't know what the signal was, what it would do. Was it a weapon? A message of first contact? A control signal for something already here? Whatever it was, the beings who built this array were about to use our own technology to shout something at the entire planet. Ilara looked at the image of the alien structure. This parasite latched onto our solar system in secret. She had started this journey to find a few missing satellites. Now, she held a secret that could either save humanity or trigger its doom. Her work was no longer about finding the truth. It was about deciding what to do with it. The countdown had just begun. Thanks for watching. What do you think the signal is? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love stories that explore the great unknown and the mysteries hidden in plain sight, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. See you in the next video.